Archangel Michael says, I need your 2 minutes only. Angels are talking about your body because your body is. Open it immediately. Archangel Michael says, the moment you opened this message, the very fabric of your existence trembled beneath your feet. The moon trembled behind torn clouds, casting shards of silver light that danced like restless spirits across your path. Your breath caught in the stillness as a door, ancient and ornate, began to creak open slowly before your eyes, its hinges groaning like the sighs of worlds unseen. This is no ordinary moment, it is a sacred junction where your choice echoes beyond time. God says, the blessings meant for you are poised like a storm ready to break, waiting only for your hand to grasp their fullness. But beware, this door is fragile, balanced on the edge of eternity. Skip this message, and the blessings will vanish into the mist, a fading song never to be heard again. You stand at the threshold where heaven's gifts either enter your life or vanish forever into shadows. In the distance, the wind carried a sound, the distant, thunderous beat of angelic wings preparing to descend. You could almost hear the flutter of their feathers, soft yet urgent, pressing against the quiet of your world. These are the heralds of your miracle, arriving just as promised, though few would believe it. They come because you dared to open this message. They come because God remembers your tears. Archangel Michael says, within the silence that followed your opening, a great battle rages unseen. Forces of light and darkness converge, weaving a tapestry of fate that only you can unravel. The enemies lurking in the corners of your life move with whispered steps, but the light of your decision burns fiercely, too bright to be snuffed out easily. God says, the choice is yours, accept the gift waiting on the other side, or turn away and lock yourself out from all that was meant to be. The stars themselves hold their breath, suspended in anticipation of your next move. This message is your lifeline, your last chance before the door closes forever. The air thickened, heavy with the scent of myrrh and ancient wood, as if the very elements conspired to mark this moment sacred. Shadows flickered, forming shapes too fleeting to name, but their warning was clear. Your path will be defined by this act, this single, trembling moment of faith. Archangel Michael says, stand firm. The road behind you is closing, but before you, a radiant light beckons, blinding, overwhelming, and pure. To hesitate now is to risk losing everything you have ever dreamed of. This is the threshold of transformation, the moment when despair turns to hope, when silence becomes a symphony. God says, within the chambers of your heart, the seed of your miracle has been planted. It waits only for your consent to bloom in radiant glory. The door you opened is the gateway not just to blessings, but to your own awakening, your rise above the shadows cast by betrayal and fear. The sky above roared with a sudden burst of thunder, shaking the earth beneath as if the heavens themselves were urging you onward. The unseen angels began their descent, their wings brushing the air with a power both gentle and fierce. This is no dream, This is divine reality unfolding before your very eyes. Your soul knew the weight of this moment, heavy as it was with promise and peril. But you are not alone. The great warrior of light stands beside you, his sword drawn, his gaze unwavering. Archangel Michael's presence is a shield against the darkness pressing in, a beacon guiding you toward what must be. God says, the blessing that waits beyond this door is more than fortune, it is a rebirth. But the door will not stay open forever. Your heart is the key. Hold it steady, hold it true, and step forward into the destiny that has been carved out for you by the hand of the divine. A hush fell over the world as the door swung wide, revealing a corridor bathed in golden light. The air shimmered with the promise of miracles, a silent chorus of angels singing in unison. This is your sacred passage. This is your moment of reckoning. Archangel Michael says, do not look back, for the path behind you fades into shadow and silence. Move forward with courage, for what lies ahead is the answer to your prayers, the fulfillment of your hope. The door has opened because you dared to believe. Now, walk through it boldly. Archangel Michael says, while you were weeping alone, whispering prayers only the night could hear, there were voices, familiar voices, speaking your name in rooms you were never invited into. These voices didn't pray for you. They plotted. Two people bound to you by blood, people you trusted with your laughter, your memories, your past, they spoke in shadows, believing heaven wasn't watching. But heaven sees what is hidden. The room they sat in was dimly lit, thick with the scent of greed and stale secrets. They looked each other in the eyes and agreed upon your downfall, not with rage, but with quiet calculation. There was no anger in their hearts, only envy. Your light irritated their darkness. Your resilience mocked their brokenness. So they smiled in your presence, and sharpened their spiritual knives the moment your back turned. God says, this betrayal was not new, it began cycles ago, when jealousy first found a home in their hearts. You felt it in the subtle shifts, the praise that sounded too empty, the hugs that never quite felt warm. But you silenced your intuition, didn't you? You wanted peace. You believed the best in them. Even now, you still wonder if you're imagining it. But you're not. You were right all along. There were moments they could have stopped. Moments the divine sent signs to change their hearts. But they ignored them. They fed the darkness. They agreed to speak ill of you in places where your name should have been protected. And worse, they participated in rituals of doubt, pouring negative intention into the space around you like slow poison. They didn't need to curse you aloud. Their resentment was loud enough. Archangel Michael says, your spiritual bank was robbed by the very ones who had the keys. When your abundance delayed, when your relationships shattered, when your joy flickered and dimmed, it was not always by accident. These two created spiritual fractures in your foundation. They kept you distracted, confused, stuck. And they did it while pretending to care. You need to understand, not all battles come with armies. Some come with dinner tables, with shared last names, with familiar laughter that masks betrayal. But just as they schemed, so too did heaven prepare a reckoning. This is why this message reached you now. Because the final moment has arrived. Divine exposure is imminent. God says, the protection you asked for was never denied. It was simply waiting for the exact second that would pierce deepest into their conscience. That second is approaching. They will watch the very blessings they tried to block pour into your life like rivers breaking through a dam. And they will be powerless to stop it. The light is shifting now, casting harsh truth where shadows once danced. Names are about to be revealed. Conversations exposed. The false kindness they wrapped themselves in is unraveling like torn fabric. Your spiritual eyes are being opened in full. You will hear things. See things. Know things. Do not doubt these revelations. They are heaven's justice delivered in clarity. Archangel Michael says, the divine did not allow this betrayal to continue because you were weak, but because you were strong enough to survive it. Strong enough to awaken from the dream of loyalty and step fully into spiritual discernment. And now, your angels are gathering evidence in the Spirit. Every word spoken against you has been written. Every act. Every secret nod. It has all been recorded. Their time of hiding is over. One of them will try to reconnect soon, offering false concern, trying to measure how much you've discovered. The other will withdraw completely, hiding behind silence as if guilt cannot be felt through absence. But heaven will handle them both. You must stay in alignment. God says, forgiveness does not mean blindness. Forgiveness is a sword, not a surrender. It cuts through the illusion and separates truth from deceit. You are not called to revenge. You are called to rise. The trembling in your spirit lately, the restlessness, the sudden bursts of emotion, has not been random. It has been your soul preparing for this exposure. Preparing to accept the truth. Preparing to choose healing over illusion. And now, you're ready. You wouldn't be reading this otherwise. The air will feel heavier around them soon. They will sense the shift. Spiritually, they are being confronted. Dreams will haunt them. Doors will close to them. Because what was done in the dark has now been acknowledged by the light. Archangel Michael says, you will walk away from this chapter not with bitterness, but with breakthrough. The spiritual inheritance they tried to withhold from you is returning. Multiplied. Purified. Anointed. Because what they tried to steal was never theirs to take, it was marked with your name before your first breath. There is no need to fight them in the physical. The divine court has already ruled in your favor. The sentence is being carried out now. And you must prepare. Because when God begins to bless you publicly, there will be no hiding the truth anymore. Let them speak. Let them twist stories. Let them claim innocence. Heaven will be your witness. And the blessings that are coming will speak louder than any lie they try to use against you. Archangel Michael says, the moment your spirit agreed to hear this message, a call echoed through the realms. Not a whisper. Not a thought. A divine alarm, loud and thunderous, shaking the firmament. And in response, angelic wings unfolded. Majestic. Ancient. Unstoppable. They began to move toward your life with purpose, speed, and the weight of heaven's intent behind them. The silence before their flight was sacred. But now, the air sings with the tremble of their arrival. The ground beneath your spiritual feet knows what is coming. The very atoms around you are vibrating with preparation. There are angelic assignments being carried to your doorstep, real, tangible, and urgent. And not just spiritual whispers. This is manifestation. This is divine compensation. This is the moment when all that was stolen from you is not just returned, but multiplied under the authority of heaven. God says, this blessing is not vague or distant. It is specific. It has been formed from the blueprint of your deepest needs, crafted by hands that do not make mistakes. Finances that once vanished will now flow. Opportunities once blocked will now break open like floodgates. Health, stability, and divine rest are being carried toward you with unshakable speed. And yet, you feel it, don't you? That rising pressure in your chest. That inner pull that tells you something is about to shift dramatically. You're not imagining it. It's spiritual tension building before breakthrough. You are in the final moments before divine impact. And the enemy can feel it too. Archangel Michael says, dark forces assigned to delay you are now in panic. Their assignments have expired. Their weapons have rusted in the face of angelic fire. What they once used to manipulate your time, your mind, your peace, it's now being burned away by radiant truth. The angels marching toward you carry swords of divine light, and they are severing every contract of oppression made against your name. You will see sudden reversals. Where there was silence, answers. Where there was dryness, overflow. Where there was rejection, favor beyond logic. These blessings do not need approval from man. They come from the throne. They bypass rules, expectations, and timelines. What should have taken years will now happen in weeks. What seemed lost forever will return with interest. God says, I have watched you suffer in silence while others soared ahead. I've seen your obedience in seasons of delay, your surrender in moments of heartbreak. And now, the reward is in motion. You didn't miss your moment. You were being positioned. And now, my hand is releasing all that was prepared for you before time began. The angels carrying your blessings do not fly alone. They are flanked by warrior angels, guardians tasked with shielding the path of delivery. Every distraction, every demonic delay, every counterfeit connection will be cut down before it can interfere again. These angels do not rest. They do not sleep. They march for you alone. Archangel Michael says, the signs will be undeniable. Numbers repeating. Dreams with strange clarity. Conversations that feel divinely timed. You'll walk into rooms where the atmosphere shifts because your spirit is no longer silent, it is radiating divine authority. Your energy is being cloaked in favor. This is the moment when heaven whispers your name into the ears of people who can change your life. But take heed. As blessings approach, distractions will rise. People from your past may resurface, not because they've changed, but because the light around you has grown too bright for them to ignore. Guard your energy. The same angels bringing your blessing will also reveal who cannot walk with you into the next season. Let them go. Your elevation requires release. God says, the blessing you are about to receive will reveal the purpose behind every delay, every betrayal, every tear. I am not just returning what was lost. I am rebuilding what was never given a chance to grow. And what I build, no one can tear down. Even now, in this moment, your spiritual name is echoing through the angelic ranks. A scroll with your calling is being unfolded. The ink glows. Your destiny is not being written, it is being activated. Your soul remembers this contract. Your higher self agreed to it before birth. And now, the time has come. Archangel Michael says, stand tall. Even in your weariness. Even if your knees tremble. You are not alone in this. 10,000 angels surround you now. Their wings form a dome of protection, light, and revelation around you. You will walk through this blessing untouched by the chaos that swirls around others. Listen closely, doors will open without knocking. Unexpected funds will arrive. Paperwork long delayed will be signed. Emails, calls, connections, all divinely aligned. You'll feel it before it arrives. That knowing. That whisper. That inner confirmation that says, it's happening. And when it does, remember this, it was never delayed to punish you. It was delayed to protect the promise. It had to arrive on the exact day when your spirit could receive it without sabotage. That day is approaching faster than you think. God says, do not shrink. Do not hide. You are being positioned in front of those who once overlooked you. and they will wonder how the one they forgot was the one heaven remembered all along. Let them wonder. You have bigger things to focus on now. Your life is about to become a testimony of impossible reversals. And every winged messenger drawing near knows exactly where to land. Your doorstep has been marked. Your miracle is en route. The trumpet has sounded. Archangel Michael says, "Hold steady, beloved." The march of angelic wings is no longer a whisper. It is a roar. And they are almost here. Archangel Michael says, as the blessings approach, so too does a final shadow, desperate, hollow, and masked in familiarity. This entity, this spirit, this force, it does not come as a monster. It comes as something you once loved. It mimics a voice you trusted. It wears a face that still lingers in your memory. But its presence brings heaviness, confusion, and delay. This is the last attempt to pull you from your miracle. The atmosphere around you may suddenly shift, misunderstandings with people, missed messages, deep emotional waves that appear without warning. But listen, these are not coincidences. They are coordinated attempts to interfere with the divine transaction already in motion. Your miracle is too close for darkness to stay silent. So it moves. It manipulates. It mimics light. But it cannot hold power if you do not give it attention. God says, the enemy is no longer attacking you from a distance. It's attempting infiltration through emotion. It wants to reignite old habits, unresolved wounds, or rekindle ties that once drained your spirit. That message from the ex. That random argument. That feeling of old guilt rising without cause. These are not your emotions. They are distractions designed to break your focus. You must protect your atmosphere now. Like a sacred temple. Because your atmosphere is the runway for your blessing to land. Anything that clutters it, unforgiveness, doubt, fear, toxic conversations, becomes a blockade. And the enemy knows this. That's why it's launching its final weapon, confusion wrapped in comfort. Archangel Michael says, one person from your past is spiritually tethered to your delay. Their name holds weight in the spirit realm. When you finally cut them off, completely, no energetic strings, something major will unlock in your timeline. Heaven is waiting for you to release them so it can release what's next. You've already seen signs. Dreams where they appear but feel off. Sudden thoughts about them even when you're focused elsewhere. That's because their spirit knows it's being removed. And it's resisting. But your higher self knows this disconnection is divine. God says, you are not being asked to hate. You are being asked to honor yourself. Your peace. Your calling. This person was once a mirror, but now they're a mask. And the closer your miracle gets, the more they'll attempt to re-enter. not because they love you, but because the light surrounding you is undeniable. This shadow is also showing up in strange delays, plans suddenly cancelled, money paused, your name omitted from conversations it should have been in. These are spiritual entanglements, webs left behind from old soul ties, karmic debts, and energetic contracts you never signed with words but agreed to with emotion. Archangel Michael says, these contracts are now being destroyed. That tingling sensation in your body, that pressure in your chest, that ringing in your ears, it's not anxiety. It's breakthrough trying to push through spiritual congestion. You're being cleared, cleansed, unbound. But the shadow will not go quietly. It may use guilt, you've changed. It may use sorrow, I miss you. It may even use pity, I have no one else. But you must remember, you have someone. You have God. You have angels. You have yourself. And that is more than enough. God says, elevation requires disconnection. Not everyone can breathe at the altitude I'm lifting you to. Some will fall away by default. Others must be removed intentionally. Either way, your hands must be empty before they can receive what's next. This moment is holy. The interference is not random. It is strategic. Because your destiny has entered the final gate before release. The enemy doesn't fight what isn't valuable. And it is fighting you hard because you are carrying something sacred. Something generational. Something unstoppable. Archangel Michael says, be mindful in the coming days. There will be a test. One phone call, one message, one unexpected encounter. And how you respond will determine the speed of your next level. Respond with love, but do not reattach. Smile if you must, but do not step backward. You are stepping out of the cycle. The wheel that kept spinning you into confusion is broken. The game that once kept you chasing closure is over. You are no longer playing the part of the wounded seeker. You are stepping into the role of the chosen vessel. God says, this shadow cannot follow where I'm taking you. And that's why you feel the tension. It's the last rope unraveling. The final knot being loosed. The last remnant of a version of you that had to survive, while the new you learns to thrive. Let them misunderstand you. Let them talk. Let them walk away. Their chapter in your story has ended. And the more you cling to them, the more you delay the arrival of what's next. But if you let go, O beloved, if you fully let go, I will pour out something so stunning, so unmistakably divine, that not even your enemies will be able to deny it. Archangel Michael says, this interference is not punishment, it's confirmation. You are that close. Closer than you think. The enemy has made itself known because the blessing is on final approach. Stand guard. Stay clear. Keep your peace. The next knock at your spiritual door will not be deception. It will be destiny. Archangel Michael says, the veil has been torn. The final seal that once kept your breakthrough delayed, suspended just beyond your reach, is now broken. The sound you hear in your spirit, the echo of wings, the rise in inner pressure, the chill in your spine, is confirmation. The heavens are open. And what was once withheld by warfare is now released by divine right. You have stepped into a moment that has been written across lifetimes. A convergence of timelines, prayers, and spiritual sacrifices. This was no accident. You did not stumble here. You were led, carried, sometimes dragged, through deserts and storms, until you arrived at this precipice of divine completion. And now, what was once invisible begins to take form before your very eyes. God says, the blueprint of your life is no longer hidden in mystery. It is unfolding. The invisible threads of purpose, woven through heartbreaks, delays, betrayals, they now reveal their pattern. The pain had a purpose. The silence had a rhythm. The waiting was never empty, it was sacred preparation. And now, that preparation becomes presentation. This will not be a slow trickle. This is a divine downpour. The gates that were once locked have been burst wide open by angelic force. You may feel overwhelmed in the coming days, not by sorrow, but by swift, sudden alignment. Miracles showing up in clusters. Unexplained favor. Rapid transformation. You won't have time to doubt, it will happen too quickly. Archangel Michael says, your name is now written on scrolls being delivered into the hands of destiny partners. The people chosen by heaven to assist, uplift, and align you, some of them you've never met. Others were hidden until now. Their arrival will be sudden, marked by divine timing and the energy of familiarity, not from this life, but from before. This is not just about blessing. It's about mission. You are being repositioned to take your place as a leader, a light, a liberator. Your healing is not just personal, it's generational. You are the interruption to patterns that have existed in your family line for centuries. And now, the heavens are backing you completely. God says, my child, I watched you give even when your hands were empty. I saw the nights you cried in silence, never letting anyone know how close to breaking you were. And still, you stayed. You believed. You whispered, thank you, through gritted teeth. That worship, that surrender, it broke open timelines. And now, I am rewarding you openly. Prepare for the unexpected. The unexplainable. The undeniable. Prepare for people to return not for reconciliation, but to witness your elevation. Those who mocked you will watch you rise. Those who dismissed you will need your voice. And those who tried to replace you will realize they never could. Archangel Michael says, your spiritual armor is glowing. What once attracted attacks will now repel them. Your aura is no longer unguarded, it is fortified with divine light. You'll notice it, people reacting differently to you. Some drawn in awe. Others avoiding your gaze. That's because your energy now carries authority. You have become an atmosphere. The enemy will still try, small distractions, emotional tugs, whispers of doubt, but none will land. Your discernment has sharpened. Your spirit no longer tolerates what once drained it. You are walking in spiritual clarity now. And with that comes responsibility. God says, do not shrink. Do not apologize. You are not too much. You are not imagining the weight of your calling. It is heavy because it is real. But you were chosen to carry it. And I have equipped you for everything coming next. This season will require focus. Sacred solitude. A cleansing of habits, environments, and connections that no longer match your frequency. You must make room for the new. What's coming needs space, not just physically, but spiritually. Empty the vessel. Clear the room. Open your palms. Archangel Michael says, your door is marked. Not just for blessing, but for protection. There will be shaking in the world, unrest around you, chaos in other homes. But yours will remain covered. Do not fear the noise. Do not be distracted by what does not concern your path. Keep your eyes forward. You are being led. There will be a moment, soon, when you'll feel time slow. The world may keep moving, but inside you, something will pause. A stillness. A warmth. A divine knowing. That will be the moment the final piece falls into place. The contract completes. The promise manifests. God says, remember this, the greatest sign of your breakthrough will not be the miracle itself. It will be your peace. The deep, undeniable, immovable calm that settles in your chest before it even arrives. Because your spirit will recognize what your mind cannot yet explain, it is done. The door is open. The delivery is near. The interference is gone. And you are ready.